Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Courtney. Welcome back to my channel. Before we get into this story time, because yes, this is going to be a story time, please make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel because it does help so much. I'm so proud of myself and how far I've come with the subscribers. I did a couple recent try-on hauls over the past few months, I would say, and they were very popular. It did extremely well, and I'm so proud of myself. And I'm also thankful for y'all for showing support, and just even if it's just a view or whatever. But I'm also impressed by the likes. Oh my goodness. Because fashion is something that's very important to me, whether it's makeup, hair, clothes, shoes, anything, skincare. I'm very much into that. So yeah, I just appreciate you guys. Even if you don't know me or you don't even like everything or review every video, I just appreciate the support so much. My shorts have been doing well, my videos have been doing well, and I actually not beat, I passed my goal for this year on the level of subscribers. I believe I am at either 390 something going on 400, or at least 400 subscribers, at least over 400 subscribers. So I went beyond my goal for this year. My goal was just to get to 100 or 150, but once I got to 100, I said, well, let me just add a little 50 on it. Let me see if we can do 150. Let's take it up a notch. It went even beyond that. So I'm just so thankful and so proud. Just thankful for all the support and appreciation. Because you'd be surprised, I have people like that's super close to me, or I don't even have a lot of people that's really close to me, but like family or friends, and they don't always support. So I don't have a lot of family that I could just like, hey, like, I'm doing YouTube, I'm doing this and doing that. So to have strangers doing it versus the people that are supposed to be close to you, it means a lot. Like, I know it's just about views and likes for some people, but it definitely means a lot to me. And so with that being said, I just felt like I kind of been in a rut, just going through a lot mentally, emotionally. And I'm just slowly pulling myself out that rut. I have my good days, I have my bad days, and lately it's just been a slow decline. So I'm trying to pull myself out of that, hole, and just get myself together and just focus on what's important to me. I have been getting a lot of good news lately. Of course, it's always something that's going to try to knock you down, of course, which I've had to deal with that. But without further ado, let's get into this story time. So this is a past story time. This is actually when I was still living in Baltimore. I believe I was like 18 or 19. Of course, like it's been like a year or so since I've been out of school. Of course, I wasn't really motivated or anything to go to college or go to school. I still have not yet to go to college. I probably would do it maybe later on down the line when I, accomplish my goals that I want to reach. But right now, school and everything, getting education, I graduated high school, so I feel like I'm okay. But to each his own. I don't knock anybody that has a degree or a diploma or a GED, anything. It's just I felt like, all right, I barely got through high school. Let me try to focus on, I barely got through high school. Like, I was never there. I never showed up. I showed up at the last day literally of the year, and the only reason why the teachers passed me was because I was quiet and I didn't bother anybody. Of course I was quiet and didn't bother anybody. I was never in school. How can I bother anybody? How can I get into anything? If anything, I got to anything outside of school. I always was getting into something outside of school, not in school. But I decided, okay, I just want to focus on my money, because even when I was in school, it was just smoking tree, working, and chasing after boys or whatever. But at this time, I think around this time, it was like on and off between me and Crazy. If you don't know who Crazy is, you can see a few of my story times. I've mentioned him. But I think I did a story time about him. Yeah, when his baby mother tried to leak my nudes. Yeah, she threatened to leak my nudes. Yeah. So, but he is the ex that I ended up getting physical with in a DV situation. He ended up putting his hands on me. I ended up running away from him, trying to get away from him. He threw my keys, and he, broke my phone. I ended up getting held at gunpoint again by a random who I don't even know. But anyway, that's going to be a different story time. I've been trying to tell that story time. It's just, it's like, it's triggering a little bit. It's still a little triggering. And I don't want to offend anybody, but at the same time, it's like, this is your story. This is what it is. But yeah, so at this time, I just decided, I'm about to be 19 or whatever. I think I was 19. I think a year had passed since I was in high school. Because, I failed the second grade. And before you try to come for me, people in the comments, not too much, okay? I wasn't slow or nothing. I just, whatever. We're going to get into that. I'm going to tell them the story time about that. But yeah, I was 19 and I had an old friend from high school, and he had hooked me up with the job at Boscov's. If you guys don't know what Boscov's is, it's pretty much like a department store. It's pretty much equivalent to like I would say like maybe like a Kohl's or like, what's the other stores? It's just a department store. You have clothes, you have shoes, you have homeware, like every type of thing you can imagine. It's pretty much like a Macy's. I would say that's the only thing that's really equivalent to that. Like, I would say it's kind of like a Macy's, a JCPenney, what's that other, Belk kind of store. So at the time I was doing like $9 an hour, which of course is not a lot now, but back then that was enough for me. I worked Monday through Friday, I believe. And it was a pretty good job. I was pretty much a sales associate. I did the register. I run customers up. I was in charge of doing the racks and everything, just making sure that everything is up to par. I kind of struggled a little bit, but I did have people along the way to help me. So I was really grateful for that. Out of all of the jobs that I've been to, that probably was the only job where people were actually like really respectful and really nice to me. Even if you're not that close to me or you didn't really care for me like that, we still helped each other out and did our job. So I definitely respect that. It definitely was a good amount of professionalism in that store. So even my manager, she was nice. Like it was weird. She was mean, but she was nice. Her name was, I'm gonna call her, well, I'm trying to think of a name, but I don't really think it matters because it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm gonna do story times with people's names, but sometimes I won't. But it's just like half of these people it's been like 10, 15 years since I've probably seen them again. So I don't think it matters. But we gonna call her name is Naya. She was Naya. She was a lot older than me. She's probably like in her 30s. She was, she was like African and Nigerian. So she came off a little bit mean, but she was really, I don't know. She's like the meanest, nicest person I've ever met in my life. And me being raised as I was, my siblings and everything, we always called each other yes sir, yes ma'am, or Mr. So I would always call her Miss Naya, and she would get irritated. She would get so mad that she would just mean mug me like, don't call me Miss Naya, just call me Naya. My name is Naya. And I was like, oh, okay, I forgot. Like, but me being raised the way I was, that's just me having manners and being respectful. It's not anything intentional. It's not to say like, oh, you old, you this and that or whatever. It's not that deep. So, but I would always slip up and call her Miss Naya, and she would just be like, what did I say about calling me Miss Naya? It's Naya. And I was like, okay, Miss Naya. I mean, Naya. So we just had this love-hate relationship. Like, she was real cool. I didn't really know her like that, but she was cool. She was like mean but nice at the same time, and I've never encountered anybody like her ever. But yeah, I had a pretty good job. My friend from high school, I'm not close with him anymore. I don't talk to him anymore. Once I moved to West Virginia, I had my own issues and stuff going on. The last time I talked to him was that he was trying to reach out and see if I was okay. Did you make it to West Virginia okay? Are you good? And after that, it's just he disappeared off the face of the earth. We never spoke again. Like, I don't even know how. We just lost communication. But yeah, he just dropped off the face of the earth, at least around here. He probably in Baltimore, I don't know. But he did hook me up with this job. I guess he used to work there, or he knows somebody there, and he was able to get me hired and everything. And around this time, I had stopped smoking because I believe you had to do a drug test Well, no, I don't think you did. No, I don't think we had to do drug tests that time. So I was still smoking. But I, you know, like I said, I was kind of giving my money to a lot of people, the wrong people, and they were taking advantage. So, like I said, it's just all about having the right people in your corner in your life. And I did not have a lot of good people in my life. You know, I was looking out for a lot of people that were not looking out for me. And when it got rough, life pretty much just showed me who was down and who wasn't. So, I had a maid, you know. It was weird. I was around, it was weird, but it was a good weird. Like, you're around clothes and shoes and hair and makeup and stuff like that. Well, not hair, but makeup and everything. And of course it was inside of a mall. So anytime I wanted to go on break, I didn't have a car at this time. I was riding the bus back and forth to work because majority of the population in Baltimore, they drive the bus or whatever, unless they have a car. So sometimes I would get a call from work, and then sometimes I wouldn't. But yes, usually if I went on break, I would just sit on a bench. I would go get some food from somewhere in the mall, or I think it was a break room or somewhere that you could go in there. I think it was, but I don't really remember. I don't think it was. But deep down, I was going through a lot. I had gone through a very traumatic experience, and not that I'm like hiding anything, but it's just not something that I don't think I'm ready to really talk about right now. But just to know, it was definitely something that was traumatic to me. And it pretty much increased my smoking and my drinking a lot. If I didn't have liquor, I had tree. If I didn't have tree, I had liquor. So of course, with me always spending, whenever I didn't have it, whenever I ran out of tree, alcohol was my last resort. And this is back when I used to drink like light liquor or whatever, like literally light, like vodka, anything. Now I don't do no light. I hate light. But I would just get any kind of liquor that I could, just to get drunk as I possibly could. And it's like you go through stuff, but you have to remember the positives about the situation. I had a good job. Yeah, I was kind of giving my money to the wrong people, but I could have stacked a little bit on the side. I could have tried to get myself together, but I low-key had like an addiction to it. And I also was going through a depressive state because me and Crazy were, wouldn't say we were like in a relationship or anything, but we were dating on and off. I knew this dude literally since like the 4th to 5th grade. And he was playing with my heart so much, going back and forth to his baby mama. I forgot what I named her in the last story time. I'll go back and think about it. But yeah, just so much drama with me and her back and forth. But part of me is like, Courtney, he's clearly still dealing with her. But back then, your girl used to be seriously in denial, like literally denial. So just all the drama with him, and then that traumatic experience that I was going through, I was just so like over it. And usually when it comes to a guy, you feel, when you're young, it feels like it's the end of the world. Like you need to be with this person, you need to talk to them, you need to be with them. But it's like, dude, this dude is making you like low-key a booty call or whatever, and y'all haven't even did anything together. I haven't even slept with him like that whole time, all over those years prior to him hitting me, putting his hands and stuff on me. That whole situation, me and him were not being intimate with each other. So you would think like, why are you so caught up and hung up on this dude that don't care about you like that? So with that and the other little PTSD stuff that was triggering me, I was becoming depressed. And I always really had like a problem with depression, even as a kid. It's weird that you can go through that. I didn't have like a horrible childhood, but it wasn't like a good one either. When you a kid, and it's just like, I wasn't perfect, but kids sometimes, you bad or whatever. But I just felt like the treatment that I got as a kid, I didn't deserve it. So of course, people putting you down, calling you stupid, making you feel dumb, not just kids in school, but teachers, like family members. Like, after a while, it takes a toll on your self-esteem. It takes a toll on you mentally and emotionally. And so I guess bottling all that up, I just became like angry and bitter and low-key a little bit depressed, because you feel alone. So on top of all that other stuff, that childhood trauma and present trauma, you know, I just became really, I just felt really, really low. Like I was just, you know, and I think I developed depression because of that traumatic experience that happened around that time. And like I said, I didn't have no tree because we literally smoked every day. Like me, my aunts, my cousins, we smoked every day, a few times a day. I can confidently say 5 to 7 blizzies a day. And it's kind of sad for me. For the average tree head or whatever, it wouldn't be an issue for them. But for me, it was sad, especially when you have an addiction and you have a problem. So after a while, the tree began to slow down. Like we didn't really have a lot, at least like that. So I just resorted to drinking, because that's what, you know, if you don't have one thing, you have another. That's part of the process of having an addiction. If you don't have one thing, you're going to try to combat it with something else. And so I started drinking really, really heavy. And at first it was just like, you know, I only would drink outside of work when I was off. But I'd be so depressed being at work. And, you know, I had people I talked to, people I was cool with. But, you know, I never really had like a close or a really best friend like that ever since me and Michael, well, you know, the dude that got me the job at Boscov's. That was the only real friend that I had. And, you know, he would talk for me from time to time around them. But, you know, being delusional and naive and dumb and immature, it's like one in one ear and out the other. And, you know, it's just, you just feel alone. Like, it doesn't matter if you have one person or a group of people around you, you just feel really alone. And it just started to take a toll on my mental. So it got to the point where went from drinking only outside of work when I got home to the point where I would be drinking everywhere I went. I'd be drinking walking on my way to the bus. I'd be drinking walking from the parking lot. And pretty much this time I slipped up. And I had been working at Boscov's for, I would say a few months. It was a couple of months. And I really liked that job, but, you know, things happen. So one day I was walking to work and, you know, I took a shot. You know, I had like a little miniature that you would get from like a gas station or like a regular liquor store. And I had put it in my bag. Now, mind you, this is where you're going to be like, Courtney, are you dumb? Like, are you stupid? Like, what's going on? What's not clicking up there? Like, what 2 + 2 is not equaling 4. It's clearly equaling 12 in your dumb head. Like, oh my goodness. Even to this day, I don't know. But I decided to put the miniature in my clear bag. I kind of covered it up a little bit. I really didn't cover it up. It was like in a clear bag. I don't know what I was thinking to put it in my work bag. Or at least finish it up and then like throw it away, put some gum in my mouth or something. But I wasn't thinking. So, you know, I go to work and I went about my normal day. Everything was going cool for the most part. And I think halfway into the shift, you know, I would use the bathroom, I'd be on break, everything. And then halfway into my shift, my supervisor, my manager, she had called me and told me to come to the HR's office. And I was just like, well, maybe it's like a paperwork or document issue or something. I had no idea that they knew that I had that in my bag. So yeah, so I get into the office, we sit down, and one of the department managers was pretty much just like, I think the members of HR, she was just like, so do you know why like we brought you in here? And I was like, I mean, no, that would be the point. I would think you would tell me, because what the I hate when people do that. Like, you know what, like, you know why we brought you here, you know why we wanted to talk to you, you know why we didn't. If that was the case, like, I would already be prepared. I would already know what we're talking about. If they didn't tell me that, obviously I would need you to tell me that, because I don't know what's going on. Stupidity. So anyway, she was just saying, so, it's been, we have a policy about having drugs and alcohol in the workplace, let alone on the floor. And it's been brought to our attention that you have been drinking alcohol, or you've been having alcohol in your possession. And I was just like, I'm just thinking, like, I get you have a clear bag and stuff like that, but my stuff was kind of covered up. I didn't just leave it out in the open. I did try to cover it up, but at the same time, I shouldn't have had the open bottle of liquor or whatever. But it was a miniature. It wasn't like a big bottle. I wouldn't be that crazy or reckless. It was like a little miniature bottle of vodka. So I was just like, I mean, like, what are you talking about, whatever? Because even though I kind of know what they're talking about, you gonna have to show me this proof. I'm deny till you can't deny no more. That was my mode back then. That was my little that was my motto or whatever. And of course, not taking accountability, because when you addicted to something and you get in trouble, of course you're gonna play it off and pretend like it's nothing going on. So I was like, I said, so where did you come to this conclusion that I'm drinking, or I have alcohol on me, or I have liquor on me? So she was just like, yes, so we saw, some camera footage about, you walking into the bathroom, or you walking around on the floor, and we could see inside the clear bag, the little miniature bottle. And my first thought was like, and I did not notice, but I thought that was, I could have swore they said that they had cameras in the bathroom, because I thought that was illegal to have cameras in the bathroom. Right or wrong, I get it, but I believe they said something or whatever, because I sat my bag down in the bathroom one time when I had to use the bathroom. But I was just trying to figure out, like, what do they be zooming in on people's bags and clear bags? And like, I don't get it. Was y'all zooming in on me when I was walking? Like, how did you peep that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. It is not like I pulled the liquor out at all to work, even in the bathroom. Like, I get it. Like, I maybe on my way to work and stuff, but I was not, that day, I didn't, no day, period. I never did that. I never was bold enough to do it, because obviously it's a department store. They have cameras. Duh, stupidity. Why would I do that? I wasn't drinking on the floor. It was the fact that they, for some reason, the only thing that I could think of is that somebody was near my bag, or somebody went near my bag, because I always would keep my bag, like, to myself, because, you really can't trust people. I don't, you got customers just doing whatever. You got people in there doing whatever. So I didn't really trust nobody. So I always kept my bag to myself. And I kept it close to me. So I was just trying to figure out, I don't think it was camera footage. I think somebody was just going around being nosy, looking in people's bags, and probably saw it, which, okay, but somebody was pretty messy and said something. But she pretty much was, I get it. You have a job, you have a policy, but don't start talking to me crazy, because I don't like that. Don't be talking to me crazy. You have a policy. I understand. I messed up. I did what I did, but you're not about to be talking to me like I'm your child. So she starts, going in and saying, we have a policy. She said, you signed a form or whatever when you got here or whatever. There's no drinking on the floor. There's no drinking in the workplace. There's no smoking in the workplace. We don't do any of that. And you clearly violated this policy. And I was just like, I said, okay, so why are you, me getting defensive? But at the same time, she was talking crazy. Like, if you could be there to see that, like, she was doing too much. So I was like, okay, so why are you calling yourself trying to interrogate me? If you already got the proof, if you figured out what it was and I had the liquor on me, okay, but as far as you talking down to me and having a whole lecture, you are not my mom, you are not my parent, you're not about to be talking to me like that. If you want to fire me or whatever, do what you got to do, but yeah, so watch yourself. So I just told her, like, you're not about to be interrogating me like that, just really? And she was just like, really? Really? I said, yeah, really. I said, who do you think you are talking to me like that? I said, you do your job, that's fine. I said, but you need to watch how you're talking to me. Yes, there's consequences to your actions, But there's also consequences when you come at me crazy. You don't think I will knock you upside your head. I'm already probably getting fired. So what's the point? I probably would have got locked up though, because they got security and stuff. But anyway, so she was just like, well, I'm not going to do any of the back and forth with you. Pretty much your what'd she say? Your contract or something, your employment or your association or something with Boscov's is terminated, like, indefinitely. And I was like, okay, like, that's fine. And she was just like, okay, like, she started getting smart too. And I said, I'm walking out. I'm not about to go back and forth with you. You doing your job, that's fine. But don't talk to me crazy. I'm not no child. I'm grown. I thought I was super grown back then. I wasn't. But yeah, I was just like, all right, there's nothing really for us to talk about at this point. So bye. So I left. I gave my badge and everything. I did what I was supposed to do. And I'm walking, going down the escalators with Naya. And she's telling me like, she was like, girl, like, why did you have that liquor in your bottle or whatever? Like, why didn't you could have just gave it to me. Like, you could have just did something. You could have threw it out. Like, I would have hit, like, come on. Like, no, oh my goodness. But she was just like, why did you have that in your bag? And I didn't say anything because I'm already at a low. I was already feeling low these past few months, trying to get myself together, trying to cope, trying to combat all these negative feelings and negative thoughts that I had with smoking and drinking. So it was just so much going on that I just didn't have anything to say. I was kind of just over it. Yes, it sucked. Yes, I liked the job a lot, but I promise you, like, when people don't struggle with mental health or anything like that, even if they do, people that are going through it, the reality is people just don't care. And it doesn't justify what I did or anything, because I made a mistake. When you're young, you do stupid stuff. It doesn't justify anything that I did. However, I'm going through my own emotions and stuff like that. I don't have time for the lectures or anything. I'm tired. I don't want to deal with it. And to top it off, like, Michael was really, really mad at me because he had helped me get this job. Like, he had looked out. Like, he has a lot of connection. He has a lot of jobs. He knows people. And, I know he was disappointed in me. And I was disappointed in myself. It was just, I had my own demons that I was fighting at that time. Still have my own demons. We all have our own demons that we're fighting at the end of the day. But that also discouraged me for a while, because that was the first retail job that I've had. And that was, as far as like a department store, and that was like the last job that I had. Had I held on to that longer, I probably will be able to get more retail jobs. But as our time went on and I started to see like what goes on in retail and what people have to go through, even what I had to go through when I was working there, it's not easy. It's difficult, and for a low amount of pay. So I top my hat off to people that are able to do it, because it kind of gave me also a different perspective of working in the retail business, as far as like clothes and shoes and purses and stuff like that. And as much as I love being around clothes and everything, I just don't think it would be for me. But at the time, I just felt so low. I just felt so, especially after that traumatic event that happened already. And it's just like, oh my goodness, it's just one crazy thing after another. But yeah, I eventually found a job like a month or two later, like a couple of weeks later, a month or two later, I would say. And that was kind of the whole start of me doing all this warehouse stuff for years. But yeah, that was just a crazy time. So, you guys are struggling with, drug addiction or alcohol addiction, believe it or not, there are other people that are going through the same things as you. And the sooner that you come to terms with the issues that you have and you try to fix it, the better it'll be in the long run. You'll prevent a lot of crazy stuff from happening. Take it from me. Like, don't do what I do. That was just being immature, careless, addicted, naive. It was just a lot. that was just really a really rough time for me. And sometimes it's part of the reason why it's so hard for me to go back to Baltimore, even if it's just a visit. Like, I have friends and family and stuff like, come to Baltimore, come and visit and stuff like that. And it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna come, girl. But it's like, it's a lot of PTSD that holds me back, even to this day, from going there. So I'd rather be like in Hagerstown than be in Baltimore. It's just, if you've seen the stuff that I've seen, if you've been through the stuff that I've been through, as well as many others out there, it's just, you would probably get a better understanding. But yep, that's pretty much it for this story time. I hope you guys, number one, learned from my mistakes and my experiences. If you're young and watching this, if you're older and watching this, or you were struggling, just try to do the best you can to get the help you need. I know it's easier said than done, because trust me, I am living proof of that. However, once you're able to come to terms with it, like I said, you can kind of get a hold on it. You can get yourself back into reality and focus on the things that are important. You may have negative things going on in your life, but you always want to focus on the positives. So without, with that being said, thank you so much for watching my story time. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Why do I keep like talking over and stuff like that? I talk so fast and it's just all over the place. I'm sorry. I got ADHD and I have anxiety, so I get nervous and stuff. But yeah, just make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel. My social links, of course, are linked down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed that so much. And that's all. So, bye.